Doodlebud here. I just put together some of my favorite pens, and the sheer volume that I picked out is a little alarming. Let me show you. There's one pen roll, another case, small case, smaller case, 3 pen case, and this box. So what I recommend is you get yourself something to drink, maybe a snack, because this might take a little bit. I'll try to be as brief as I can, but we got a lot of ground to cover. Let's just get started with this one. In case you're wondering, this is a cigar box, and I made this insert and put the felt on it, all that stuff, to repurpose it for fountain pens. I don't sell these, I don't make these for other folks, but I made a video of me making this, so if you want to give it a try, full instructions on how to do it, videos on my channel. I'm going to have new pens, old pens, pens of all prices. There will be quite a few expensive pens. First off, this is my Sheaffer PFM 5. There are 5 versions of the PFM. This is the 5th one. Gold cap there with the green body, inlay nib, cool filling system. It has the snorkel here. You turn it, goes into the bottle, and you suck the ink out. So I think that's really cool. I love the look of this pen, the inlay nib. It's just such a classy looking pen. I restored it. If you want to see the video on it, again, you can watch along. It just looks great. They just don't make them like this anymore. Lovely looking pen, writes wonderfully. Sheaffer PFM 5. Next to that is my Pilot 912. It has the FA nib. It has the aftermarket 3-slit feed from the Flexible Nib Factory, or Flexible Feed Factory, whatever it's called. I have videos on all this stuff. Search my channel. And then there's a custom ground nib. So this is the FA nib, but I wanted an even finer point, finer hairline. So Josh Lax, I sent this pen to him. He did a video on him doing the work. Again, you can watch along. I love how it writes. I love the super fine hairline, the flex. Lovely little pen. Even littler is this one here. This is from Ensso. This is the Piuma. This is the Urushi version. So yeah, this is my first Urushi. You can even see, if you saw that, there was a little condensation that was on the section because this thing just seals extremely well. All of his pens seal wonderfully well. But I love the feel of Urushi in my hand. Just a unique feel. Yeah, can't get enough of this thing. Every time I write with it, I slow down. I like the lightness of the pen body, but the tactile feel of the Urushi and getting to see some of that vermilion underneath coming through, I just love it, especially at the end of the section here, seeing that black and red combo. I think that just looks stunning. Gold nib on there, writes wonderfully. I really like to put diamine writer's blood in this pen. I think it's a great match. Next to that, this is from the Good Blue. This is the R615. The 615 stands for the radius of the circle that this curvature is. So that's quite interesting from the design, from the drawings. So this one here, very neat, unique design. It's got the flat on the bottom. So it's great for there's no clip, but you just put it there because you have this triple flat between the cap section and the body. And this one here has the polymer feed with this titanium flex nib. I think it's a great combination. I like how these work. It's a different shape, different look to it, but every time I pick it up to do some nice flex writing, I really enjoy it. There is one of these I gave away a number of years ago, which was my absolute favorite one. It was a gorgeous blue body. That thing just looks stunning. But yeah, super cool pen. Next to that is from Gravitas. This is his Ultimate Vac pen, Ultimate Vac. I forget the exact name that he calls it, but it's a play on words between Ultim, which is the pen body material, and it's his first vac filler pen. The thing with this one is it's one of the most comfortable pens I have. The size, the shape, the feel, I really do like Ultim just because it's a strong material. I like the color. A lot of people don't like the color. I love the color. I think it looks really cool. It's also nice and strong, and I like the feel of it in the hand as well. Just super well balanced. Yeah, I really, really enjoy this pen. Fits well in the hand. Every time I go to write with it, it starts right away. All of his pens seal wonderfully well. Just a simple conical seal here at the end of the section and inside the cap. A little extra detail. Yeah, this pen, I really enjoy it every time I pick it up. Over here is a Grand pen. And in fact, it's the Grand Viceroy from Yard OLED. I think this thing is beautiful. If you haven't seen the video, I managed to get Giles on there. He's one of the new, he doesn't even call himself an owner. He calls himself a custodian of the business. So, but he went on there and talked about the history and his background a little bit and how he just falls in love with the company, and they're sort of in that relaunch stage, coming new again onto the pen market. This thing is fantastic. It's just, yeah, a sterling silver pen. I've never owned one. Unique look. I can already see the aging a little bit. I'm starting to like that a little bit more, the tarnish that it gets. I have some unfinished business with this. I want to grind this nib into something special. I think I'm going with a cursive italic on here. So I ordered a broad on purpose when they asked which nib size that I want for the review. I said, give me a broad because I think I'm going to grind this. So I'm still debating that a little bit, but I'm fairly certain I'll go with a cursive italic and give this thing a go. But yeah, it's definitely got some weight to it. But again, it's one of those pens, sort of like this one here. When I grab it, I just take an extra moment to focus and concentrate, and I slow down and just really enjoy the pen and the history. All this detail work is done by hand. So sometimes I like looking to see just the little, differences between each little part that was put in here and all those little details. So I like something like that, something still being done by hand. I think it's super cool. Beside that is the Montegrappa 007. I think they call it a special edition. The total kind of opposite cool pen, but this is all precision machine, CNC, everything like that. Gorgeous knurling. So yeah, this is modeled after 007's famous Walther PPK. So this is sort of like the slide on the pistol. These lines here are reminiscent of the safety. We got the rifling here down here in the end of the cap that you would have in the barrel. And the focus is absolutely terrible tonight. Same with white balance. I don't know what's going on. Maybe you can see it now, but there's that rifling that's on there like you would in the barrel. Super cool detail. Well, we have the macro on. There's the 007 and a close-up of this knurling. It's really nice. The nib on here is really cool too. So this is a Jowo number 6 size nib. Gold nib, and this has their stub on it. It's got their 1.1. So this is actually my only gold stub nib, and I quite enjoy it. I just checked there is some ink in it, so let's write with it really quick. So that is one lot down. Let's go on to the next one. Somebody will ask about the pen case. This is that Undlibi one that I received. I got 2 of them. These are just stunning cases again. I have a video on that, so check out my channel. This is their 10 pen case. So we have quite a few again to go through. Let's get at it. On the left is the Waterman Carene. I just love this look. The clip is so nice. Nice little spring clip that's on there. Gorgeous styling, and yeah, it's just the styling on this one is absolutely timeless and classic. This is again, I can't remember the color. I think it's deep sea green. They don't make this colorway anymore, which is really unfortunate because to me, with the gold, it is the absolute perfect pairing. I like the black section and then the inlay nib. It is just a joy to use this every single time. Yeah, I can't get enough of this pen. Really, really like it just for, yeah, just even looking at it. But then when you write with it, there's one here, Parker 51. So this was I don't know if this was my very first vintage pen or else it was vintage pen number 2 that I got. This isn't even the gold nib, but this is the aerometric filler, right? So just one of these little dealies here and just a solid pen. I like the color of this one with that cap that's on there. It's the, well, they call it like Octavian or something like that. So it's a steel nib. It's an alloy and there's 8 different materials in there. So it's just an alloy nib, but a little bit of marketing action on that one. Timeless pen though, it just every single time I go to use it, it writes well. I have no issues with the pen. I think it's great. Performs well. Styling's good. I don't use it enough, but I should use it more. Sometimes I'm using other pens like this one here, because how could I not? This is my Aurora 88. This is the Mirige. So it has all these gorgeous lines on here, full, gold treatment on this bad boy. And yeah, nice clip, all that stuff. Just normally that is not my cup of tea, a pen that's like super flashy like that. But then I think it looks even better when you pop off the cap and you have that black section. You got the ink window that's there. Just a stunning pen. This has the long tine nib, so it's got just slightly longer tines on this particular nib, 14 karat gold. I don't take this one out and about too much because they are rare. It's expensive, tough to come by, but when I do, it's an absolute joy to write with. Usually it's for like 1 week. I'll use it in the EDC case and take it out and about, but then I usually take the ink out, clean it out, and just put it back in the case. So I wish I would use it more, but I also like to preserve it. I don't know why I doubled up, but I did. But these are the vintage Pilot Vanishing Points. These are a couple that a viewer sent me. Super, super generous of him. These are the Namiki versions. I also have the Pilot ones. This one is the black body. This was produced a little bit later. And then we have the stainless steel cone on here as well. Again, you've heard, I just said this the other day when I did the new Jinhao 20, that I think that's a great pen, but these are hands down my absolute favorite vanishing points that were ever made. I think the styling is fantastic. This all black one is just absolutely gorgeous. This is the absolute peak for Pilot when it comes to their retractable, capless vanishing points, whatever you want to call them. Let's flip this around. We'll start down here and then go back to the middle. So this is from Narwhal. This is their 365 Plongeur, and this is kind of like their Nautilus pen, but it's full titanium. And this was a bit of a change in styling for them because their pens usually had a little more flash to them and stuff like that. This, I don't know, it just spoke a little more sophistication, a little more business, something like that. I think this pen looks fantastic in this titanium like here. We still have the little ink window that's in here. We got the piston filler, so the piston's nice and smooth. This pen definitely has some weight to it, but I don't mind it at all. I think it's a really nice fit. You know, even the little step up, normally that would bother me, but it's nicely rounded. That doesn't bother me. The section's plenty long, so it's not uncomfortable. But it just stands out. It's comfortable. I like the way it looks. The cap works quite nice. The seal's pretty good. Clip, yeah, just I really enjoy this. I think this is a really nice version they did of sort of an existing model, a bit of a change up. I think they have a new one that just came out, a Halloween theme one and something like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one they did, and every time I grab it, I love it. This is one of my absolute favorite pens. Again, vintage Pilot. This is the Elite. I don't know why they got rid of that. I know things come and go, but I'm surprised they haven't, come out with an updated version of this, because to me, this is absolutely stunning. It's just the style points are just through the roof on this one. Love that clip. Like, you can't feel that because you're watching, but that is absolutely spot on. And then you slip it off, pop it on. Let me line that up, and it just looks great. That styling will never get old. It really looks good. Even the font that they did on the Elite, it just fits perfectly with this body. And you see this hatching that's on here, and the black paint that was filled in there too. Man, did they ever absolutely nail it again with the vintage Pilot. They did it with the vanishing points. I think same thing for the Elite. Can't get enough of this one. If I lost this pen, damaged it, whatever, I would replace it instantly. Next to that, this is my Cross Peerless 125. This was a bit of a whim. This was at a Vancouver Pen Club meeting. One of the members there got this pen, really cool, and he was actually looking to sell it. He got it because he got a smoking deal on it, and he just wasn't in love with it. Now the clip, I still think that it's just too much. That is their design. That's their deal. But I think it just looks a little too much. I don't care for that style. So that's the only thing that kind of bugs me with the pen. But other than that, I think it's great. I forget, they call it like titanium gray or something like that, the colorway. It's very brown. I don't see the gray on here, but it's got a little Swarovski crystal there, whether piece of glass. It's quite nice. It's got a sailor nib on there, which is quite unique. This is my only gold sailor nib that I have. Oh wait, no, I do have a new sailor now, but for the longest time, this was my only pen that had a sailor nib on it. But I think the styling is really good. It's very comfortable in the hand. You have this little ring here. If I could focus, there we go. And if you put the cap on it, it just snaps onto there. I don't usually post it, but you can, no problem. But I like how that goes on there, and it's just this nice kind of friction that's on there. Just everything's tuned perfectly on this. Cartridge converter pen, so nothing too crazy there. I do like this styling. I like the feel of the pen, the nib, everything. I still don't love the clip though. There's no clip to worry about here with this pen because it doesn't have one whatsoever. This is the Titan from 54T. He's got a few different versions of it, and they're all great, but I think that this carbon fiber one is the best one. Carbon fiber here, it's pultruded carbon fiber here on the cap, also on the piston knob, and then we have like this, it's fully inked right now. I use this pen a lot. The barrel is like an acrylic, but it's like a smoky gray, so it really, really looks good. Titanium section, and then it's got that number 8 nib with the Nico ebonite feed. It is just super comfortable. You can post it, no problem if you want to. Again, I usually don't post it. I post my pens a lot less now than I used to when I first got in the hobby. It also has a different filling system, the Titan filling system that's on here. So it's a little bit like the coned bulk filler style, just a slight twist on it. And I really like how it works. It's quite intuitive, works quite well. And the biggest thing, super comfortable. And yeah, I really like the looks of that one. And the carbon fiber, it really feels nice in the hand. Now, the opposite in looks of that pen would be this pen right here. So this is the Wingsung, and they also go by Junlai, the 630. I think that's the model number, the 630. Yeah, there it is. 365 Days Stationery sent me this one because they actually do this treatment themselves. They do the Raden on these pens. So it's like him and a buddy. That's the cool thing with him in his store. He is a super fountain pen fan, fountain pen enthusiast. He loves fountain pens, so he has his store. But then they also do little projects like this, and these sell out really quick. They can only make so many at a time. It's like a batch of 10 or 12 that they can do. It's something quite small. It's just like sort of a passion project they do. But these pens look really, really good. I've never had one. They're so expensive if you want to go other places. This is probably not as nice. Oh, I guarantee it's not as nice as, say, some of those crazy Pelikan M1000s that are Raden, or some of the other pilots and stuff that you can get. But for the price point, this is a pretty good job. I did fit the gold nib on mine that I had on my other Junlai 630. I think it looks really good. You got the gold trim here, super flashy, feels nice and smooth. And then you got the gold nib on here too. It's got a little bit of bounce, and I just checked. I have a touch of ink left in here. So yeah, I ground this one. I almost, like, you won't be able to see it. There is marginally any tipping left on here. This was like my first go with a rotary, and it was a diamond bit, and holy crap, was that thing aggressive. So there is a microscopic amount of tipping on here. It's a bit scratchy, but I can't do anything else to this. So it's got a lot of tooth to it. But what I'll do now is a quick little writing sample with this one too, because the focus is absolutely terrible. All right, let's zip this one out. Don't want anything falling. Let's go with this little 3-pen case. Again, in case you're wondering, this is a little Wancher 3-pen case. In here, I just can't get enough of this pen. Every time I pop it out, it just makes me happy. This is the Hongdian C1, super affordable pen. I have to do it with this yellow color. I think it's just fantastic. The yellow and the black, I think that looks really great. It's got the little hooded nib on here. We can't even show you anything tonight. There it is, just sticking out. You can get some aftermarket nibs and slide it out and put a new nib on there. There's like a little Fude nib that you can get on here too, which is quite fun. They don't have a bunch of nib sizes from them originally, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but I still enjoy it. I like using this as an everyday carry cartridge converter pen. Looks neat, super comfortable, performs reasonably well. The cap seal isn't amazing, but it's good enough. Like if you're using this on a regular basis, it's going to be totally fine. If you want a daily driver pen that's, comfortable, I think looks cool and writes quite well, this would be a total recommend, and it's super affordable. I just think this is a really cool pen. I just talked about this one the other day, but the Jinhao 20, especially the semi-translucent one here, man, this actually, I think I like the extra fine even more than the fine. I just took this to parent-teacher meetings today, and I had this with me for writing down a few notes, bunch of client meetings. I've just taken this thing everywhere. Works wonderfully well. The cap seal is way better on this one than the Jinhao 10. I have a small sample size. I have 3 more on the way, so I'll have 5 total. I'm going to do a nib dry out test with these just to see how they're doing, because it seems like the trap door there is fixed and the seal has been fantastic on these. Haven't had any issues so far. But yeah, I really like the feel of them. See the video I did so you can find out how much I like it. But yeah, great pen, great price. And then over here, the Diplomat A2 Excellence. Just a great, well-built pen. Love the clip. It's a bit heavy. It's got a bit of a weight to it. I don't mind a heavy pen, so for me, I quite enjoy it. But the slip cap on here is quite nice. Has a very satisfying snap to it. Just feels wonderful every single time you close it. It does post nicely. And, you know, it's a little bit back-weighted with it, depending on how you hold it. I have a big hand, so it doesn't bother me. But I think styling is great. The little medallion here at the top, the finial, I love the looks of that, especially in the white. That was a great choice they went with. Cartridge converter pen, so you can do whatever you like. But yeah, it's a sharp looking pen. There's some other colorways. I would consider getting this pen again. There's another one I saw. Maybe I'll go check that one out when I'm done the video, see if it's been sold yet. But I would definitely buy this pen in another color in a heartbeat. Great business pen too. Looks wonderful. Man, there's still a lot to go through. Okay, here's a little case here. This is from Lockbee. I can't even remember because it took so long to put all this together before the video. Oh, these here. Speaking, wow, what a transition all on its own. Great business pen to another great business pen. Grafon Faber-Castell. I don't know if it's Tamatio or Tamitio, whichever way you're going to say it. Classic styling that Faber-Castell has with their pen, so it looks great. I was worried about the section. It's not really a section. You grip it up here. Love the nib on this one. A little bit of a smaller nib. It looks like a number 5 size nib. It's the steel nib, but I really like it. It's quite smooth. This has this little flare out here at the top. So same thing when you go to post it. It just snaps on there nice and secure. Usually I do post this when I grip a little bit further back. And it's just a really enjoyable pen. The nib is lovely on this. Nice and smooth. This is a fine point, so it's got some nice detail to it. I find it's a really nice balance on line width, and so it's just perfect for everyday use. Again, wonderful style points. This looks great if you wear a suit, so I would put this in my jacket pocket sometimes and just sticks out nicely. The clip is wonderful, so it slides in and out very easily. And yeah, another fantastic business pen. One of the all-time greats right next to that is, of course, Lamy 2000. I won't spend too much time on this because I've spent a ton of time on this. So I've done deep dives on this pen. I have done nib grinds to this pen. It's been on lots of lists, so you can watch all those to get all my reasons. But yeah, love the looks, super reliable. I actually need to clean it out. I've been a bad boy with this one. I haven't used it for a bit, and I ran out of ink and just left it. But I could just fill it right now and it would work no problem. But I should give it a cleaning. The snap cap is just fantastic. The looks, the styling, the feel. Love posting it. The piston. Yeah, everything you'd want a pen. This one has it. And also this one has a fine nib that I ground to an Architect. And to me, it is an absolute perfect pairing for this one. A strong contender to potentially overtake the Lamy 2000 is my recently acquired Rotrine 600. They don't make them anymore, which is really unfortunate because not only does it look good, it performs really well. I've been enjoying this one. I was worried about the cap seal, how good it is. It works quite well. You do get a little bit every now and then just right there on the end. It's just the deal, you know, how they seal it internally. But the cap seal's been great. I like the knurling on the grip. And every time I go to write with it, it performs. You feel very precise writing with this one. I love the hexagonal body, so you can just set it down. It's not going to roll away. It has a clip on there, so it won't. But I do like that, how you can just set it down because, you know, if you put it down for a moment without the cap on, it still stays put. So yeah, I love the design, the engineering, just everything this pen kind of communicates with its looks, but also how it performs is fantastic. And on the end here was a bit of a surprise pen. I kind of bought this on a hunch thinking I would like it, and turns out I did. So this is an old Montblanc Noblesse. There was a few different versions. I think this is one of the early ones. Thin pen. Again, it has that little kind of snap cap at the end when you post it. So a few of my pens have that. I like that feature. I think it's quite slick, that extra detail. Very thin pen. For the longest times, I had to have thick pens when I first got into fountain pens, but over time, my tastes have changed. I've learned to adjust my grip, so I grip a little bit differently. I'm not down here. I sort of spread out my hand a bit on thin pens. But this nib on here, it's quite long. It's a gold nib as well, but it has a slightly natural architect sort of grind to it, but it's got a lovely softness to it, a nice precision to it as well. Just, again, one of those pens where I slow down and take my time and just really enjoy the fact I'm using a fountain pen, the fact that it's old and all that kind of great stuff with it too. Yeah, so this one gets bonus points for being a very bit, sort of a surprise pen that I was a little worried that I didn't know if I'd like it or not, but I've been looking at these for a long time, found the one that has the logos top and bottom, which is a little bit harder to find, and it was a really, really good price. Maybe we're halfway through, I don't know. Here is, again, so Contacts family, they have them on AliExpress, 6-pen case. They also make a larger version and smaller version. This is completely filled with Pelikans. We have an M1000, a 400, M400, Pelikan 140, and then this guy over here. This is the, P361 Epoch, and that's in the zircon. I do have a Pelikan M805, but it's not here in the mix because I don't know, I just don't really love it. It was my very first Pelikan, and when I first got it, wow, just amazed by it. But then I didn't buy any Pelikans for a while. I got it in an extra fine, and I felt it's a very beautiful pen, but didn't have any personality or character to it. So I didn't do Pelikans for a while, but then when I got my Pelikan 140, I really started to like Pelikan. So this little guy here, we'll talk about him first. Small little pen. This has a semi-flex nib. Again, if you want to see me write with it, check my channel. I got a bunch of videos with this one on here, even just the original review of this pen I did. Small pen, but it fits in the hand nicely. The ink capacity on this one, which is quite surprising. I thought it'd be a small ink capacity because it's a small pen. This takes more ink. It holds more ink than a modern M800, which I found quite surprising. But yeah, small little pen, kind of subtle, a bit of a sleeper, I guess. Looks classic, but you wouldn't think too much. But then the second you go to write with it, especially with that nice little bouncy nib, but you can get them with the obliques, just all sorts of cool, fun nibs. What a fantastic pen. Let's go to some of these other ones here. Let's go smaller first. So this is an M400. This is in the tortoise. This has a broad nib on here. The nib has a little bit of a stub likeness to it where, thicker downstrokes, thinner cross strokes. I was worried, again, about the smaller size because I usually like bigger pens, but I love the 140 so much that sort of relieved my worries that I wouldn't like it as much. And I actually really enjoy the 400 sizing. And then this one here, vintage, I think like 1950s. So quite nice, fantastic condition, really looks good. And it has the oblique double broad. That was the main reason for getting this pen here. I absolutely love how this nib writes. Again, I think there's a little ink in it, so maybe I'll write with it really quick. Here's that unique one I picked up. Again, it's not made anymore, but I really, really enjoy this one. I guess this is more of a, probably like a 600 size. So it's very similar to the 400, but probably a little bit closer to a 600. Just pop cap, so it's not a screw cap like the other ones. Posts on there quite nicely. Very unique. So this is the zircon finish that they have. They had a few different styles. When I saw the zircon, I had to go for that one. This has an oblique broad nib. You can see it right there on the side. However, I didn't care for how it wrote, so I went ahead and ground it to make it write the way I want it to write, and then I really, really enjoy how it performs now. I'm not going to take this off. If you want to see more about the pen, watch the review. But there's let's see how messy this gets. There is a cartridge that, there's a little ink here in the back. Yeah, so let's just leave that for now. But you pop this out, it takes a cartridge, it sort of fits in a sleeve in a carriage, and it holds it that way. So It's not the best as far as the ink filling system, but it works well. And when it runs out of ink, I just fill it up. If you want to check your ink level, it's a bit of a mess. So I just write this thing until it runs out of ink, and I have no problem doing that. The cap seal works quite well, so I was very happy about that. So it's reliable, looks neat, and I really, really enjoy this. And now on to the M1000 here in the back. This, oh yeah, the piston's open because I just checked. I am all out of ink. I just finished getting my last stroke out of this pen before before I need to clean it out. And I will clean it this time instead of giving it a dirty fill. But this is the older style. So this, I can't remember the date on this one. I don't remember off the top of my head if it's from the 80s or 90s. But yeah, just older style, which I like more because you still can see through the barrel a little bit. The top finial here, it's not laser engraved. I do like the looks of that a lot more. I think this just represents the classic styling more in the older versions than what is available, new now. If you go to purchase one, you can't see into the barrel. It's laser engraved on here. I have nothing against laser engraving, but I just find on this pen, the proper finial, the medallion at the top just suits it better. And just get a look at that nib. It is probably the most stunning, if not one of the most stunning nibs that there's out there on a fountain pen. And it's so bouncy. It is, I mean, it's a medium. This is not a medium. So you just got to enjoy it for what it is and not for the line width that it produces. Just enjoy how bouncy it is. It's crazy wet, but it is very fun to use. I love the size of it. I prefer this over the 800. I like these over the 800. So for whatever reason, my M800 is just not my favorite Pelikan. Man, I think I really have a problem here, but let's just keep forging on here. Again, this is from Lockbee. Here we have the Margna Carta Mag 650. I love this styling. It has that retro Parker Vacuumatic styling to it as well. But yeah, modern pen with a very flexible nib that it's kind of like a vintage flex nib. He cracked the code. Got a modern pen with a gold flex nib that performs very close to old vintage pens, and you can get them now. It's expensive, not cheap whatsoever, but it is a fantastic pen. This is a bit of an oddball one. Looks like a Delta Dolce Vita, but it was made by a different company. They're not around anymore, Marta Modena, and I bought this pen. They had a store, and I thought I really like the looks of it. I like the price. This thing I got in a crazy special. It was like a 2 a.m. type of thing. I happened to check my phone when I couldn't sleep, and they had some ridiculous special. And I thought, I can't say no. I think it was like $83 US, something just absolutely ridiculous. So couldn't say no. I got it. The build quality is nowhere near where the original should be. The cap band spins. You can see even like the plating on here is coming off, and the laser job on there is kind of crusty. It actually scratched my Pilot 823. It scratched the barrel. I was really upset about that, but I do like the looks of it. This makes me want to get a proper Delta Dolce Vita because it's just such a classic color combination. The size, the fit, it's really nice. So this makes me want to get one. This has a blind cap on here. So it's a cartridge converter, but you can do it through here. Oh, you know what? This is I stole the converter to a different pen, but normally it does go back further. There's a little part that goes on there, stainless steel. So it's much, much nicer. This pen, it usually ends up being a bit of a Franken pen for me. This has a Bobby Architect nib on here. So if I need to swap out a number 6 size nib for something different, this is my go-to pen, or even putting troublesome inks. It comes apart very easy, fits other nibs quite well, like the looks of it and the size and the styling, and it just performs pretty good. This is the latest one I got from Eureka. Very interesting, especially with this nude titanium nib that he has on here. It's no other pen I have writes like this. So I like the styling of it. I think it looks quite good. I'm still a little undecided on the mishmash of materials, but that's sort of his thing that he does. So I respect that. I think, he's very unique with his pens, but I love the ebonite on here. All the faceting on the cap is neat, but really the big one on this one, then you got Ultim on here too. So you got a lot of mix match of materials. Some people don't like that, and I get it, but I do like the Ultim section, quite comfortable. And just this whole nib and feed setup on here. Very long tines on here. He did that on purpose, just in case that titanium wears down over time. But it's a spec titanium. It's not just your standard titanium, so it's quite hard. And like, I don't think this will really wear down. But even if it does, there's lots of nib. Sort of tipping material, but it's all nib material. There's no tipping on here. So over time, you're not going to run out of tipping, so to speak. Even if it does wear down on you, you got plenty in there. This will outlast you. So yeah, it writes wonderfully. It doesn't really post, but this size, super comfortable in the hand. I like how the long tines, it sort of lets me see a little clearer on the page. Sometimes some pens, depending how you write, your hand angle, you can block your characters. It's tougher. This thing does not do that whatsoever. So I like that. And just like with all of his pens, the threads on the cap are just sublime. Now, and here is the Majohn V60. I have an actual OMAS 360 that this pen is modeled after. I'm going to be honest with you, I like the Majohn V60 more than my actual OMAS 360. I find it, even the cap, like the cap on the 360 wiggles a lot. This one's on here really good. The cap seal is fantastic. Like, it seems like this is better made than the OMAS. So if I always say, if you're going to sort of copy the design, at least do a good job. And on this one, they did a fantastic job. They have some other colors here, which is quite nice. If you want to get this type of color, I actually just ordered another one because I love these so much. There's a translucent red. To get an OMAS 360 with that is so rare and insanely expensive. But I picked it up for $35 Canadian with free shipping. I get them all with a stub, and then I grind it to an oblique, because for me, with this triangular grip, an oblique is the absolute perfect nib for this pen. So every time I grab this one, it's just, yeah, I love it. I'm recording this video the day before the draw, but yeah, the Asvine V800. I really like it. I think this is a total winner. Big pen. And so some pens can be a little too big. I find this is a nice mix. It's big. It's got that big number 8 size nib. Super bouncy, which is quite nice. Whether you get the fine or the medium or whatever, this has the stub. And I think this is one of the best stubs ever used. Speaking of stubs, let's jump the line down here a little bit. This is the Monteverde Rita. This was sent to me for review by Bleskett. I thought it looked really cool, magnetic cap, but magnetic caps have usually meant dry out issues. Now again, this thing, it's not perfect. It's not the best sealing cap out there, but it does quite well. If you're using this on the regular, it's good. You can go a couple weeks at least. And again, this has a stub. It's a really good stub. This is one of the best stubs I've used on a pen. And so for me, this combination, this Rita, magnetic cap, it's got some weight to it. It is a heavy pen. You can post it too. Gets quite heavy, back heavy when you do it that way, but for the pen size, I can do it unposted and I quite enjoy it. The one thing with this one, so this has the carbon fiber and there is just a bit of a crispy edge on there. I've tried a different body material and that was not a problem whatsoever. So if I was going to go for one again or recommend one, this sort of does look neat with the carbon fiber, but just because of that crispy edge, I'd recommend a different pattern, different colorway, whatever it is, just because it is a bit pokey. It's not terrible, but it's better without it. I've tried one with a different body style, and yeah, it was better. The Esterbrook SD is a super classic pen, but then they released this series modeled after it, but it's the Back to the Land, and the quirky leaf color here, they also have a matching ink color to go with it. I don't know. They have all sorts of gorgeous resins on the SDs and sparkles and all sorts of cool colors, but this, I don't know, this feels the best. I like the color combo, especially the orange. It's got that 70s look to it. And yes, this is my absolute favorite from that whole sort of, I know it's called Back to the Land, but from the SD series, this is my absolute favorite one they've done. I love the colors, and I just love the feel. The orange highlights just, yeah, they knew what they were doing with this one for the colorways. It feels nicer in the hand. I don't know what it is. It feels nicer. Even the cap, they do have that spring cap. I find on this one, it's a slightly less of a push down compared to the other SDs, which I like. Again, cartridge converter, everything works great on here. Well built, all that stuff. I got the quirky leaf in there. I don't know. Maybe I should write with it really quick. I said earlier it was this pen here. No, not that there. This one here. They were sitting side by side. Actually, I think it was side by side like this. And the sharp edges on that cap band actually scratched the body here a little bit on my Pilot A23. Now, I don't know what it is. I don't use it a ton. I just think because I have so many pens that I love kind of rotating through. Initially, I wasn't in love with this pen. It sort of let me down a little bit. The nib just wasn't quite right. And maybe it was my expectation or whatever it was, but I don't know. I fixed it now. And the nib writes quite well. It's a little bit thicker than a standard fine, so it's sort of like a medium fine. It's very smooth, super reliable. I need to put this back into rotation more because every time I grab it, I go, this is really well built and it performs wonderfully. The seal is good. I like the styling. I'm still not 100% sure if it's one of my top tops, but every time I grab it and fill it, I keep telling myself I should probably use this pen more often. One I just can't get enough of is this Parker 25. I was introduced to this because Majohn put out a pen, the B25, that looks just like it, and I didn't know Parker made the Parker 25, but when I was looking at the Majohn, I discovered, oh wait, Parker did it first, and which, doesn't surprise me. One of their pens looks like another pen. So I got this one. And yeah, it's fantastic. I have the Majohn too. This is better. It absolutely, hands down, is better. But it fits really well. I love, whatever plastic they used on this section versus the Majohn. It's better. It's a little bit grippier. Styling's good. It's just a super reliable pen. The posting is fantastic. Just, yeah, cool design. I love the whole use of the brushy kind of stainless steel that they have on here, the satin finish. And just the highlights, you can get a few different colors. Blue and black are sort of the most popular. You can get like green in that. I can't remember if there's a red or not, but those ones are quite a bit more expensive. They're charging because it's harder to get. But I do like this blue. I always end up using Diamine Midnight in this pen. For me, it's just the perfect match. And I like a blue ink. And so for me, yeah, super great pen, daily driver for sure. We are nearing the end. This is no doubt going to be the longest video I've ever made. This is so many pens. My 2-pen case. This is the Giorlogio. I still don't know how to say the name after all these years. It doesn't look the same as it used to when I got mine. So unfortunately, if you go to get one, I don't know if it's as nice. But inside we got 2 pens. Pen number 1 is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Age. Yeah, it's a great looking pen. I don't I can't say anything bad about the styling. It is fantastic. The material they use just offers such a unique grip to it and writing experience. Feels unlike any other pen. This has the older Palladium Dream Touch nib. So again, as far as looks, this definitely competes with Pelikan. Just look at that color contrast on there. Super nice. Mark Bacchus had his way with this nib to get it to write nicely. Has a nice little bounce to it, but like the nib when I got it, it was a fine, but it was essentially a broad and insanely uncontrollably wet. So Mark did his magic, ground it down to a fine, almost extra fine. So it has a nice hairline. I said, go as fine as you can, but still be smooth. And he did a perfect job. And it's just an absolute joy to write with. It's not a flex nib. It has just a gorgeous, perfect little bounce to it, but it really makes things look nice. Next to that is my absolute favorite pen Gravitas has made. They have their new pen, the Monster, which is a great pen, but I do like this one more. This is their piston fill pen, the carbon fiber black. I just love the look of the pultruded carbon fiber on here, similar to what 50/40 has. It looks a little bit different. This has more of a striation to it, so a slightly different look on that. But I like the feel of it. I've worked with carbon fiber before years ago making stuff, and man, you would just get so many slivers. So I was a little bit worried about that. You don't get any of that here whatsoever. Nice clear ink window that's on here to see your ink level. Cleans up very nicely. We got titanium bits that are, I believe they're PVD coated on here, so has a nice little grippiness to it. Just a gorgeous black pen. Got the number 8 size nib with the Nico Ebonite feed. And for me, what really does it is the section. This section shape and just the feel of it. Wow, like every time I go to write with it, I can just laser focus. I don't know what it is. I feel extremely precise with this pen. It's super comfortable. Of course, just like all of his pens, the cap, the threads are spot on. It seals wonderfully well. It does post. I just find just the profile of the cap, it's kind of widens here a bit at the bottom and a little bit thicker just so it's strong enough. So it's not my favorite for posting just because it has a bit of a step. Now, depending on where your hand is and how it feels, you may or may not like it, but I actually prefer it unposted. I find it looks better, but also just the fit. It's better balanced and it just even fits better in my hand. But yeah, whenever I pull this pen out, if I really need to focus on something, if I'm drawing something or I'm really thinking about some details and I need a lot of focus, this is like my focus pen. For whatever reason, it just draws me into the page. I can write very clearly and precisely, especially printing. And yeah, my absolute favorite Gravitas pen that he's made. This one is just perfect. 2 pens left. You can probably guess one of them because I haven't shown it yet. It's my Montblanc 149. I still love it. Yeah, this was, I don't know whether this is my first Grail pen I got. I can't remember, but got this on an auction actually from Martin Modena. They're not around anymore. I got that other pen, the Delta Vitae looking pen. They used to have some auctions on there, and so this one sort of flew under the radar. I don't know why it was, but there wasn't much action on it. So I got a very good price on this one. There's a whole story behind this one. I've done multiple videos on it, but I think the reason this was a new old stock pen is just the nib was off. It was dried. There was just something wrong with it. So I got it, and I ended up grinding the nib on this one. And this was the first pen. Well, I did one practice grind on a really cheap pen. It turned out great, and so I just went at it just one night and decided to go for it with my sharpening stones. And so it's like a fine cursive italic. I tuned it up, and the wetness is right where I want it. It's a little, maybe a hair on the dry side, but I had it that way because that one I can use it even on slightly cheaper paper, and it's not going to kind of bleed through and feather. So I have it just a touch dry. It could be a hair wetter, but for me, it's just fine. It's a fine point nib, but it has a little bit of line variation from that grind I did on there, and I still love it. I like the styling. I like the feel. I like the looks. Montblanc 149. Yeah, if I lost my whole collection, I would most likely try to get one again. One pen left and it was in my pocket. And it's a pocket pen. This is another pen from Ensso. This is his Pocket Piuma Titanium. I did the anodized job myself. I also recorded it. So if you want to see how I did it, check out my video. This pen, it's been in a drawer and then for a long time, so I sort of neglected it, and I checked it and it wrote right away. I put it on a piece of paper, and I don't know how long this has been sitting there. It's been over a year. It just has a little cartridge in there. But I mean, what a fantastic pocket pen. You can just leave it for over a year and you pop it out and the sucker still goes right away. So yeah, I like the feel of titanium. I like the balance. He's got all sorts of different versions of this one. He has Ultim, he has Ebonite, aluminum, titanium. I think those are all the versions he's done. But the titanium one, I'm a big titanium fan. One, I just like the looks of it. I like the feel, like the weight and balance. But also, if you want to get creative, you can anodize it. If I don't like that, I can clear it off and go at it again or whatever I want to do. So yeah, one of my absolute favorite pocket pens. I still debate on which is my favorite pocket pen. This one is always either going to be number 1 or number 2. I just absolutely love this pen. Okay, so that was a lot of pens. No doubt my longest video ever in history. If you've stayed this far to the end, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down there in the comments, maybe what was your favorite out of the bunch, and also what is your maybe top 5 or whatever it is, favorite pen. Just some pens if you want to mention them, put it down there. Maybe I'll check it out one day and it'll appear on the channel, or for other folks looking, might give them some ideas. Thanks again for watching. Hit a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, potentially join. We'll catch you next time.